Ambassador, welcome. Thank you for joining us on the newscast.
Good evening, and thank you for having me in this studio.
Ambassador, the main topic around the world is the situation in Ukraine. Can you tell us how do you see or how do you comment what is happening there?
Israel said from the first moment that we are against the Russian invasion into Ukraine, and that Ukraine has full right to preserve its sovereignty. I think what is going on there regarding the humanitarian situation is awful. And Israel is doing from the first day everything that can be done to help the people of Ukraine. We sent more than 100 diplomats from Israel to the 5 countries surrounding Ukraine in order to be at the crossing borders and to help the refugees, Israeli refugees that stayed in Ukraine, Jewish refugees that stayed in Ukraine, and others that we can help. Israel is going to establish a field hospital not far away from Lviv. It is coordinated with the mayor of Lviv in order to help the citizens of Ukraine and to give medical assistance to those people in need.
Ambassador, we all know that Israel have good relations with the both countries, with Ukraine and also with Russia. There was an open call from the President of Ukraine, Mr. Zelensky, for the Prime Minister of Israel to mediate these talks for finding the solution. We didn't see any open answer on this call, but we can see that you're doing everything on the field. There was a meeting a few days ago between your Prime Minister and the President of Russia, Vladimir Putin. What is Israel going to do about this?
Israel is trying to mediate between Ukraine and Russia. As you have said, we have very good relations with Russia and with President Vladimir Putin, and at the same time very good relations with Ukraine and with President Volodymyr Zelensky. Prime Minister Bennett is considered by both sides as a reliable mediator, and he is trying to do his best to get a ceasefire as soon as possible and to be able to assist the people of Ukraine not to suffer anymore. He is doing it together with the Chancellor Scholz and the President Macron of France, and everything is coordinated also with the United States, which is our best ally.
Ambassador, we remember that you had this open conflict with Palestine. Last year there was use of fire, but with the help of Egypt you have managed to resolve the open question for 10 days. As a country that has experience with these questions, do you think that it can be helpful if third part will be considered as a mediator to find a solution between Ukraine and Russia?
I think that everything should be done in order to have a ceasefire as soon as possible. If both sides are calling Prime Minister Bennett and they think that he is a reliable mediator and he can help, why not? Why not doing it? Of course, we will do the utmost to bring peace as fast as we can in order not to have more citizens of Ukraine suffering from this war.
Can you tell me what is going on with the conflict with Palestine now? Is it everything okay?
Look, there are still terror organizations who are trying to have terror attacks on Israeli civilians. We see it day by day, those people, individuals, but not only the individuals that are trying to have terror attacks. It's part of the incitement that is going on in the mosque and elsewhere in the Palestinian, by the Palestinian Authority, and it should be taken care of, not to have those incitement, not to call people to have terror attacks. Unfortunately, the Hamas and Palestinian Jihad are keeping on trying to have terror attacks against Israel, but the government of Israel is doing everything possible to stop those attacks and to protect the Israeli civilians.
Ambassador, there was a lot of statements in the public that this war in Ukraine can open questions that are not resolved around the world. Do you think that something like that is possible and that this war can go outside of the borders of Ukraine?
I don't know, but I don't think so. That is one of the reasons that we are trying to get a ceasefire and an agreement between Ukraine and Russia as soon as possible, so it won't go out of control. But I hope so, and everyone should be optimistic. There
was some speculation, some statements, but even open statements by the President of Russia, Putin, that it is possible nuclear weapon to be used in this war. Do you think that we should be afraid of something like that?
I'm afraid of the Iranians trying to reach a nuclear bomb. I think the world should be afraid from Iran. We see that the Iranians all the time, for many years already, are trying to reach a nuclear bomb. And the government of Israel have said many times that we will do the utmost to stop Iran from achieving this goal, and we will prevent Iran from being a threshold country.
Where do you see the solution for all of this?
I think that the best solution is to negotiate and to find a solution that will bring peace to the world.
Ambassador, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you very much.